Okay, Annie, this is your Moldavite and Herkimer pendant that Miss Sandra made for you. And she gave it to me so that we could put it underneath the microscope and take a peek at it. So here's our, since we have wire on it, we can't put it in and test the density. But we can show you what it looks like under the microscope.
And that's the fun part.
And that's the only part that Sandra really likes to do.
Because it's so pretty.
The rest of it's all a little technical, but that's okay.
Yeah,
so
it's math.
This is the binocular microscope, and it projects. It has a camera on it, and it projects up onto the monitor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the microscope here.
Boys and their toys.
And it's going to take me a moment to kind of get it set up and focused in the light right. So hold on 1 second here. Turn the light up a little bit.
Ooh.
And there is the surface of your Moldavite. So this is the wire, the gold wire. This dark line here is the gold wire on the back side of the pendant. And that's the gold wire too, and this is the bottom. And then that's the clip and the light around it. But that is the surface of your Moldavite. Pretty cool. And as I was saying in some of my earlier videos, you may have seen, the best way to look inside the Moldavite and see all the little tiny bubbles and the stress lines and the contaminants is to polish the surface. But Miss Sandra doesn't let me do that. So instead, what we do is we take this fluid that has a refractive index that is very similar to the refractive index of the Moldavite, and we put it on there. And Miss Sandra washes it off later; it doesn't hurt it. We put it on there, and it washes that texture out. So we can actually focus the microscope deep inside there. So there's might be a little bit of debris going on as I put this on here, but so you can ignore that on there. So now we can go and we can focus in on this piece. Hold on a second. You can already see some of the bubbles. Let me go a little bit further down in there. We can now focus deep down inside. Now there's some debris floating on here. That's just dust that was still left on the Moldavite, and that fluid's moving it around. But you can see the bubbles inside of here. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, whoops. Okay, so you can see the bubbles and the stress lines inside of this piece right here. So I think I've said this on some of my other videos, but when that meteorite impacted into Germany, the spew field, the material that it hit spewed up into the air, and it was molten. And as the molten material was flying through the air, it froze or started to freeze, and it captured all of these different air bubbles or gases, and it trapped them in there. So let's move this around just a little bit so I can get to a better spot here. Maybe a little more interesting.
Ooh, there's a big one.
There's some really big bubbles.
Ooh, look at that one.
Yeah. Let me do some better focusing. Hold on just a second here. There we go. I'm going to turn the light down. It's kind of...
Yeah, I was just going to say, but I didn't want a backseat drive.
A little bright. So you can see, we're finding more bubbles in here. But wait a second. What we want to see is check out this thing right here.
Ooh.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me find a wiggly. So we can come down in here, and as we focus in, we're actually focusing deeper and deeper into the Moldavite.
So huge bubbles.
Wow, check that out. You find different bubbles and different stress lines. And so the brighter areas are thinner areas, and the darker areas are a little bit thicker. But here's some of the stress lines that occurs that get locked in place. If we had a filter on this, a polarizing filter, you'd see what was called this birefringent stress. But this is all these stresses that were locked in place here. What I'm looking for, so there's a big bubble, I came and found it, and I can go deeper in and see more of the stress, and the bubble kind of goes away a little bit, and we see more of the stress lines as we get inside of there. Okay, so let's come back out so we can see, so the stress lines kind of hide some of the other contaminants. Like some of these pieces, like right in here, right here, these are what Miss Sandra calls the wigglies. Let me move it around a little bit more. So Miss Sandra sees all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that there was an
okay.
astronaut and there's a sea lion, baby sea lion. See the nose and the two eyes?
I don't see the nose and 2 eyes.
Nose, 2 eyes.
Oh,
that's
I
a
see
tail.
it now. Yeah, she's the artist, I'm the scientist. But we can see all the stress lines inside of here, and the bubbles inside of here. Let me find another spot here. I'm kind of looking for. Oh, there we go. Let me.
Our puppy is whining. Just ignore
I
him.
hear our puppy.
He whines all the time. He's a whiner.
He's an awesome dog.
He is, but he's a whiner.
He is a whiner. He's a border collie. He's a rescue. What a sweetie there. So now I'm focusing in.
Looks like a dimple in the center there. Do you see that?
I do see that.
I don't know where that came from.
I was looking at these bubbles up here and that structure right there. So again, it's a little hard for me to hold on to the piece here because it has the metal on it. I got it. I gotta move it back up. Ooh, check that out. Wow. Let me turn the light up a little bit. Wow. So now as I come down through the surface, you can see the stress lines, and as we come down through here, you see these bubbles inside of here. So some people say they have to be elongated bubbles, and some people say they have to be round bubbles. Well, here's what happens. If you took a balloon, a round balloon, and you stretched it out, and that's because it was just flying through the air, right? And you get this long balloon stretched out. Well, if the piece cools, and while the balloon's all stretched out, then it's going to be an elongated balloon. But the balloon wants to come back to normal if you let it go, back to a round piece. So, you can actually have both round and elongated. You get all kinds of really cool stuff inside of here, Miss Sandra. I'm up past the edge there.
There's a neat spot.
It is a cool spot. I'm gonna back up just a little bit.
Ooh, it's funny how the lighting changes it.
Yeah, so I had a little too bright there. So when at some of these thinner spots. But look at the wigglies in here, babe.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Filled with bubbles. This is what genuine Moldavite looks like.
Can't fake it.
No, you can't.
Not when you scrutinize it like this.
No. Anyway, Miss Annie, we appreciate you being patient. I know Miss Sandra gave this to me days ago. I just didn't have an opportunity to get to it. And I know she went and made this someplace special. She's going to clean it up for you.
It's a secret until you get it.
It is a secret. She's pretty good about keeping that a secret until she doesn't tell anybody. Yeah.
Because the memory isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
I gotta write it down.
I like your new book. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I like when you leave those Herkimers behind. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if people know this, but when she's out there creating these in some of her different spaces, when she's all done for the day, she actually weaves a Herkimer at her space where she created some pendants, and it's the way she leaves it there for someone else to find. She
doesn't make somebody's day.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I found it.
And she doesn't tell anybody. She doesn't advertise it. It's just kind of a thing that Sandra does. Sandra has all those kind of crazy things that she does. But she's my kind of
crazy. It's all about feeling good and having a good day.
She's my crazy. Here you go, babe. Well, enjoy,
this is
Annie.
a really pretty one. Let's get it into focus, or not. There we go.